going to go ahead and get started now. Welcome to the Mayor's Inclusive Workforce Luncheon. Thank you so much for being here today. We are so grateful that you took time out of your busy schedules to join us for a very important topic on inclusion and employment. My name is Yvette Martinez, Community Services Manager with the City of Temecula. And my job is to ensure that individuals with disabilities are included in all aspects of our community, including employment. And every day we see people with unique talents that can and do make a positive contribution to our city's businesses. And so today we want to share that message with all of you. We have a dynamic lineup of speakers today. Thank you to all of our collaborating partners. Inland Regional Center, the Department of Rehabilitation, Exceed, Temecula Valley Unified School District, and in the interest of time, we do ask that you hold your questions until the end of the presentation and join us on the patio where you can network with our presenters as well as find out more information about how you can partner with the City of Temecula. So before we get started, we would like to share a brief video with you.
Citizens program is a job and life skills program that equips students with special needs to go out into the community and to gain meaningful employment.
Hi, I'm Zarek Kuzmar, and I'm an intern of the City of Temecula and past participant of the viticulture program. Being in the program, you get to meet new people that you haven't really met before, and they're all really cool people. It's valuable to me because I learned a lot of traits that could possibly lead to future jobs.
Hi, my name is Melanie Brown. I am 33, going on 34 in this summer. I am a former graduate of the viticulture program. I enjoy that it is a hands-on experience here at lovely Sparrow Vineyard. Right now, I'm working for the City of Temecula. I do a lot of the clerical work for the City of Temecula, so this filing and this kind of the backstage of doing all the business stuff, like the business licenses and things like that. The Global Citizens Program, what it means to me, it was just sort of this God-given opportunity that sort of to prep myself just to do something extraordinary, just to give back to the community. And it gave me a new skill, something that I thought that I never would have done before. It really is what's the word I'm looking for? Inspirational. It really is. I would absolutely recommend it.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Munoz, and I currently work at Soup Plantation in Round 1, the new bowling alley. I'm also in the viticulture program right now, and I love this program. It's a really good program. Also in the summer, we have the Global Citizens program, and I'm planning to go in this summer for that too. It's been a very good experience. Mostly I'm in the pasta bar, so I cook a lot of pasta and serve to the people, and they're always happy. They always enjoy the food, so I'm happy that they're happy. I want to tell a lot of people out there, even if you're special needs, there's opportunities for jobs, and you guys should get out there and start working, or even try doing more volunteer service and hopefully get a job. I'm hoping for a lot of people with special needs to get a job.
There's value in hiring people with special needs, and our goal and hope is to help others see that. We have students that offer unique skill set and talent that are unmatched. The work ethic, passion, and commitment they bring to the workplace is inspiring. For more information about this program and others, please visit www.temeculaca.gov.
Making
Success
Accessible.
to all.
Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Temecula Mayor Mike Nagar.
Thank you, Yvette, and thank you, everybody who came out today. It's very meaningful to me. In particular, I think we have some other city representatives. I know we have Paris here, Mayor Paris Mike Vargas. Thank you for coming. It means a whole lot to me. Where's our representative from Wildemar? There he is back there. Good to see you. Glad you're here. I know Lake Elstar's here. Lake Elstar, there you are. Thank you for coming. Menifee, Lisa Sobek, is it council member or Mayor Pro Tem? Mayor Pro Tem? Council member Lisa Sobek from Menifee. Have I missed any other city that's here today? Okay, I think I covered that. I have been so privileged to be able to serve the city of Temecula. I was elected in 1999. And I'm now currently in my 5th term. If you asked me back then, would I be here today, I could never imagine it. I'll tell you a little bit of a story, and maybe it's a little bit of a backstory as to why we're here today. And I'll try to hold back my tears. Okay, I'm sorry, when I talk about this, it moves me greatly. I had just won re-election to my 3rd term after finishing 2 terms. And I've had the opportunity of serving with some of the most dynamic people, not only on the staff level, but on a city council level as well. People who I've learned from, people like Chuck Washington and Jeff Stone and Jeff Comachero and Ron Roberts. And we had a very dynamic team. And Aaron Adams and Sean Nelson and a staff second to none. We're really on a roll. And my son was born in 2005, and it was just such a blessing. And I have 2 children. My son was born in 2005, and as he progressed, we just noticed some things weren't really right. You know, some of you know what I'm talking about. And but we just thought, hey, that's just, his name is Liam. That's just Liam's Liam. Kids are kids. Each one's different. So I had just won re-election to my 3rd term. This is in about 2008, and we finally decided, my wife and I, we got to have my son. We got to have him looked at. We need to have him looked at professionally. So we took him over to Rady's, who down in San Diego, who is now local. Anybody here from Rady's by any chance? Okay, marvelous organization, and not just in general, but who's here locally. They are marvelous. And I remember they did an evaluation on him, and of course the diagnosis was autism spectrum disorder. And quite elaborate, a 16-page report. They did just a fantastic job. Needless to say, we were stunned. We didn't even know what it is. We didn't even know what to do. Of course, not knowing how to progress, you start looking everywhere, just to grab onto anything, any hope, what have you. You don't know what you're even looking for. And so as we started the process of looking for help, it thrust me and my family into a world. When you start looking at special education, it's a whole world of people and children with disabilities that will change your life. I cannot tell you how many tears I've cried, not only to be in that situation, but to see others and other families in that situation where literally it would take a half an hour or more just to get a child into the van, and then maybe just to get them out of the van and into a schoolroom. And where they can just have some semblance of normalcy. And all kinds of disabilities, from autism to Downs to cerebral palsy and everything in between. I have to tell you, at that point, maybe about 2-3 months into my new term, my third term, I said, you know what, I don't know if I could handle all of this. I think I probably have to resign of my council seat. It just, where do you have to choose? I'm going to serve the community, or am I going to serve my family? And the only person I really knew anything about autism was my good friend over there, Mark Anselmo, from our Nicholas. And Mark said, hey, let's go have a cup of coffee. And it just flowed when I was with Mark. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know anything about this. And he talked me down off that cliff. He said, look, it's going to be okay. Start here, and you'll see it's going to be okay. And it started to be okay. Being somewhat of a man who has a great belief in God and a lot of prayer, my wife and I came to the conclusion that we can quit, or we can maybe look at this as somehow some sort of divine providence. And so here I am, a council member for the city of Temecula, a quite successful city. And so maybe there's some virtue in making our situation public. And I did so at a council meeting. And from there, the rest has been miraculous, of the people who have not only risen to the occasion in this whole community, but staff, the Nicholas Foundation. So much of what we've done with inclusivity, I can't just name it all or say it all, but it's now trickled down into the community as a whole, particularly in our young people, in our young high school typical kids, to where the effort of inclusion has permeated the city now. And now we're focusing, if we can, to have it permeate the region. We started an autism task force. We brought in that task force all kinds of, all elected members from all the regional cities. And what we were able to do, and I remember, Mark, you were on that task force, and a lot of professionals like you here today were on that task force, and we started educating everybody of what is autism. What is it? Nobody even knows what it is. How does it present itself? We, miraculously, we've talked to the police and fire department. They've now inculcated autism training at their academy, at the police force, so that an officer doesn't misinterpret the actions of a young adult on the autism spectrum and an unthinkable accident happens, or in the event of an emergency when a fire department or a paramedic comes on scene and you have somebody on autism spectrum disorder and they can't answer those questions, or he or she may be hysterical, they need training on how to handle that so they can recognize it. We've done a lot of good, but here we are today, okay? And back, just having you all here today, for me, is just a little miracle. There are going to be thousands, dare I say tens of thousands, of people on the autism spectrum disorder and all types of disabilities entering the workforce. The diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, if everybody's been following it, just keeps going up and up and up. Nobody really knows the reason why, and as much as I want to know the reason why, we can't put our efforts there. Our efforts now are to make sure that as these kiddos emerge into young adulthood, that they have value and they have meaning in their life and are not relegated to sitting on the couch playing video games or relegated to some sort of mindless functional job of screwing a widget on day in, day out. That's not what we have in mind here. What we have in mind, what my goals are, and I think you can agree, and listen, the autism spectrum disorder is just that, it's a spectrum. So not everybody can do everything. We all recognize that. But we want to open up every opportunity. So when I see the opportunities, I see college. When I see the opportunities, I see being able to be in your offices and being able to have meaningful employment. That's the goal. And if there's somebody on the spectrum that can't achieve that goal, they can achieve the next level down. okay? And that's how we need, and I want everybody to start looking at this. So, thank you for being here. That's my story. Liam's doing great because of the community and some teachers that are second to none. He has a 3.7 grade point average. You know what? He is just a whiz at art and a whiz at math, and he is just one happy boy. And you know what? He's not typical, but that's okay. Thanks. So I have the pleasure of introducing from Inland Regional Center, Mr. Jonathan Anchorage. Jonathan, are you here? Come on up. Jonathan is the program manager in training and development at Inland Regional Center. Hey, welcome.
Hey, you're welcome. 3.7 grade point average, and that's pretty remarkable. I've got 5 kids, and I think cumulatively, I'll be lucky if they get 3.7. I'm going to also start with a little story, like Mayor Gar said. My name is Jonathan Eck. I'm a program manager with Inland Regional Center. And I'm going to start my story with how I came to work for Regional Center. I was born and raised in San Diego, high school out there, college, graduate school, so forth. And for a long time, do I need this? Can you guys hear me okay? For a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I knew a couple of things, is that I didn't want to start working, and the other thing was I didn't want to start paying back my student loans. So for a long time, my goal in life was to be a professional student, and I would get all of the fancy degrees and have all of these fancy letters at the end of my name, and eventually I could start spelling words with these letters, right? I kind of thought that if I got a couple of extra degrees, I could make my name say Jonathan Anchorage Hammer Time. I knew I didn't want to start paying back my student loans, but like a lot of you folks in here, God had a different plan than what I had. And it was right about that time that I started having kids. And my wife said, listen, delivering pizza part-time and skateboarding all day is just not going to put food on the table. Go out and find a job. So I did what people during that time did to find a job. And it wasn't LinkedIn or Monster, but we went to the newspaper. And the newspaper had jobs separated in 2 categories. One was what your professional experience was, which I had none because, like I said, there was no jobs that said you like to play Madden all day long and surf and skateboard, because if there were, I probably wouldn't be here today. So I went to the one that said your academic experience, and I filled out a resume and I sent it in. I got a call back and they said, hey, you want to come on down for an interview? And I said, absolutely. And that's when I had to change out of my San Diego wardrobe, which consisted of 95% sandals, board shorts, and tank tops. And I went down to Men's Warehouse and I bought my first suit on credit. I was surprised at how many pieces of the suit there was. I know there was fancy pants and shoes and ties and this and that, but I didn't realize there was things that go at the end of your shirt, things that go from your shirt to your tie, and then there was these really bizarre things that went from the end of your shirt to the top of your socks. You guys know what I'm talking about? They're male garter, right? Isn't that what the equivalent? I asked the gentleman that sold me the suit, I said, could you do me a favor and show me how to operate this tie? Because I was really surprised that when I held it up next to me, it was about as tall as I was, and I didn't know how to make that look like this. So he tried to show me, and I knew I wasn't going to learn. And after he got done teaching me the song, over, under, around again, I asked him to tie it for me and to keep it nice and loose so I could slip it around my big head. And then I begged him, I said, please, don't cut the tags off of it, because if I don't get this job, there you go. Taking it back. I got dressed the morning of the interview, and I was thankful that the shirt clip or the tie clip actually hid the price tag at the time very well. I got dressed and I went down to the interview, and afterwards I got a call and they said, hey, would you like a job here? And I said, absolutely. So I did what most young men do when they get their first real job. I got on the phone with my mom. And I said, Mom, I got a job. And she was stoked. She was really happy. And I said, I got a job at this place called the Regional Center. And she said, are you kidding me, the Regional Center? And I said, no. I used to mess with my mom a lot. I called her one time when I was out of the country. And frantically, I said, Mom, I need you to take this number down and wire some accountant this money. I just got arrested. So she was she was used to me messing with her. And so when I told her that I got, which by the way is not funny now that I'm a parent, it was at the time. I told her, I said I got a job at this place called the Regional Center, and she was getting pumped. She's like, seriously, don't mess with me, John. Really, the Regional Center? So I was getting pumped. I'm like, yeah, the Regional Center. And after a couple of times back and forth, I finally asked her, I go, what the hell's the Regional Center? Because she seemed like she knew what it was, and I certainly did not. She was really excited. I knew she'd be excited because that meant she didn't have to shop for me at Costco anymore. But she was so fixated on this Regional Center piece. She said, John, don't you realize that's where Joel gets all of his services from? I've got 6 brothers. There's 7 of us, all boys. People ask me, why do you have so many brothers? And I said, my mom and dad didn't really understand the science behind how it kept happening until there were 7 of us. My next youngest brother, he's a cool dude. He's 36 years old. He's 6'5". He's a big dude. I didn't get any of that. And he's got a full head of hair, and I also didn't get any of that. From the day that we brought him home from the hospital, there was people in and out of my house. For a long time, I thought my mom was just some sort of Southern California pink and Tupperware dealer. But it turns out, as I got older, that what she was doing, these people that were coming into the house were occupational therapists, speech therapists, school folks, regional center workers, and I thought, wow, how weird. How weird that this place that I just happened to get this first real job at just so happens to be the place where Joel gets all of his service. My plan was to work at Regional Center for 2 years exactly, then I was going to quit because all of the really high-paying jobs in the newspaper required this thing called 2 years of experience, and I didn't have any of that, so I was going to give me some 2 years experience and then go and find a real job. That was nearly 14 and a half years ago. I started my career doing early start evaluations, so developmental assessments on babies, and then I was program manager of a unit for kids and then teenagers, and the capacity that I get to work with the Regional Center now is doing the training and development. So I get to train all of our new employees, I get to train all of our consumers and families that receive services from the Regional Center, and I also get to do a lot of outreach stuff like this and talk to folks about what the Regional Center was. That's really important because for me, the theme is inclusion, and for me, my brother, for Joel living with us and being outside every time we skateboarded and going to the beach with us when we go to surf and being at our baseball games, that was very normal for me. The idea that there was anything outside of that, I had it wasn't on my radar. But yell it out if you know. What did we used to do with folks like Joel 50, 60, 70 years ago? Where did they live? Yeah, and if you've never seen an institution, I want you to close your eyes and imagine a hospital and a prison had a baby. And it's not a pretty sight. And the reason I say that is because an institution had this medical feel to it, but this was a locked facility that our folks were required to stay at. They could not come and go. The idea was many, many years ago that this is where they had to live, that Joel would have to live at one of these places because there was no other life for him that he could enjoy. And we know now that that's absolutely not the truth. And as things have changed, the idea that they could live at home with supports was unrealistic. That's why I tell people all the time, Regional Center exists. We were created to pull people out of these institutions, and that's kind of a sterile way to talk about what an institution was. But if you ever have an hour of time and you want to watch one of the toughest videos you've ever seen, Google search or YouTube search Geraldo Rivera and Willowbrook, right? Have you ever seen it? Anybody ever seen the 25 years after Willowbrook? Most people don't know this, but Geraldo Rivera used to be a real reporter. You guys know that. Before he was on between Judge Judy and something else doing paternity tests all day long, he was a real reporter. And he got his start by exposing how poorly folks' lives were that had to live at these institutions. And the idea was that regional centers would be created to pull these people out of the institutions, put them back in their family homes where their parents would care for them. How many of you guys, show of hands, have kids? Those of you that didn't raise your hands, you want one? I've got 5. You think I'm joking, huh? You want one? Well, you take your choice. I got boys, girls, smart ones, good-looking ones. The only problem is the smart ones aren't good-looking and the good-looking ones aren't too bright. So you'll have to make some accommodations. We were created. I love them. I tell my kids all the time. I said, I love you guys to death, but the world is not kind to funny-looking people. And too many of you guys look like me and not mom, so you better learn how to throw a ball real far, or read a book real fast, or do something, because the world will not be kind to you. The idea was that nobody's going to love our kids like we as parents will. The idea is nobody knows what our kids need like we as parents do. And having a kid is tough. Having any kid is tough. Having a kid or a family member with a disability or some special needs is exponentially more difficult. And so we were created to put these folks back where they belong in a home, because they have not done anything wrong. Put them back in a home and then provide them with whatever supports they need to keep them living there successfully. And that was accomplished. We don't institutionalize people because they were born not neurotypically or physiotypically. The next step in this progression was our folks can work. And for a long time that didn't look like what we're hoping it looks like today. You know, for a long time when we asked people to hire folks with developmental or any kind of disabilities, we were asking folks to take a risk and do something that's nice. And we're not asking for that today. I should have started this way. What you guys in Temecula are doing is just phenomenal. I get to do this presentation, something very similar to it, in the different counties that IRC serves, San Bernardino and Riverside County. And what you guys are doing really deserves a round of applause. So let me give you guys a round of applause. We're not asking you to take a risk and hire one of our folks or somebody with a disability. We're asking you guys to give a chance. And the next step in inclusion is outside of our folks living in communities where they deserve to live, is our folks working in jobs where they are compensated and they are paid and they are treated as productive and capable employees. Our regional center and regional centers across the state of California are doing something with employment called competitive integrative employment. And what that does, in a nutshell, and I'm going to give you the broad strokes because the real experts are Beth and Andrew, and they can provide much more explanation about how now that you're interested, how can you make that happen? But just from an employer standpoint, I know that, or I can imagine, if you decide to hire somebody with a disability, it's not just doing something that's nice. You know, your thought is, well, how is this person going to fit into our workforce? And what we're doing is we're doing a tremendous amount of work identifying what our people are good at, because they do have phenomenal skills. And they have skills that surpass most people without disabilities. We just have to be able to identify what that skill set is. And then Beth and Andrew do a great job identifying businesses that have a need that need to be filled. They pair them up with one of our folks that possesses that skill set to be able to accomplish that task, and we hope to create a relationship. But it doesn't just stop there. You know, some of the things that we can do outside of pairing you with somebody who has the skills that your job or your workforce needs is we can provide additional support. We're talking about on-the-job support, a job coach. We're talking about the ability to assist in compensating a very large portion of that person's annual salary. We're talking about being able to deliver to you somebody who's going to work like nobody. How many of you guys are business owners or involved in hiring? How many of you guys, keep your hands up if you find it difficult to keep morale high in the workforce? That's just a reality, right? It's tough. You know, what our people bring to a job outside of a skill set and a desire to work and a passion for working is they bring morale, and there is no financial compensation that you can compare to what our folks can do for your workforce. Not just the people that they work with, but the people that they interact with. You know, we have lots of really great partnerships in Temecula. We got folks working for City of Temecula, JDS. I saw them there. Where are they? There you guys are. With JDS, we got folks working for California. Yeah, I know. These guys are awesome. We got folks working for the movie theater, for Town Peddler, Marshall's, Walgreens, YMCA. I mean, the list goes on. And if you want to find where this can fit into your business, so you have this desire to hire somebody that has a disability, that you're interested in knowing what those supports are. But the real sell is talk to one of these employers that are paired with Regional Center and ask them what that has done to their customer base. Ask them what that looks like when they come to work. You know, our folks, statistically speaking, take fewer sick days. That's nice, right? Our folks are not posting things online when they should be working. Our folks are just so happy to have a job, right? I mean, if you could only control intro that our folks are just remarkable employees, but they need a chance. And we're not asking you to give a chance without support. What we're here to do is to promote this inclusion in the workplace and to really tell you that you're not alone in this partnership. That Regional Center, we can help assist you with this adventure as you guys take this on. But that's all I've got. Again, I work for Regional Center. Beth and Andrew are going to be out in the foyer answering questions. I would really, really encourage you guys to talk to them. Oh, I didn't include that. Outside of just supports that we can give to the employee, the employer has a good amount of supports, tax supports and so forth. So there's so much there outside of just do a right thing, but that we're here to help you. So with that, I'm going to conclude. I'm going to introduce our next speakers, Mr. Toussaint Wade from the Department of Rehabilitation. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you. So what I would like to impress upon everybody, first and foremost, is go to the meeting. There was a meeting yesterday that we were talking about what we're going to do today, and they were doing the presentation lineup, and I wasn't at the meeting, so I get to follow John. So go to the meeting. And so I'm with the Department of Rehabilitation, and what I love about, we got Inland Regional Center, IRC, we got Department of Rehabilitation, DOR, a lot of acronyms. What we do is we help individuals go to work. We specifically help individuals with disabilities go to work. What we're tasked with now is helping businesses help us get people with disabilities working. And over the course of the time that I've worked with DOR, I found one thing, and I'm going to demonstrate it right now. If you're a business in the room, is this the first time you heard of DOR? And if so, please raise your hand. Okay, I want to surprise a couple of you guys. We've been around for 50 years. So what is going on is we have to do a lot better job of interfacing and working with the business community and letting you guys know that we're here and what we can do for you. And again, thank you for coming today because this is our opportunity to do that. And so I'm also going to say this one word, I'm going to say ditto, because everything John said, he took my speech. So, ditto. So I would like to move to my 1,000-point PowerPoint presentation. There's about 1,000 pages in there. We're going to get really into the details of everything we do. Okay, I won't do that. But we do that. And so a lot of things that we do is we help businesses with tax credits. And so there is this thing called the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. And there are a lot of different categories of people that qualify for the tax credit. But one specific group are individuals with disabilities. My agency is a certifying authority that the business can work with to eliminate some of the red tape with getting those tax credits into your financial folder a lot faster. Because if that individual works with either us or one of our partnering agencies, we have, what do you want to call that, signature power to go ahead and fast track that for you. And so it's one less check that you have to do with either EDD or the IRS to verify that you actually hired somebody with a disability. Another thing that we can help with is consulting for if you are, let's say you're in a new building to you, but an old building that's been around for a while that got some exemptions. And so when you move in, there's that regulation for accessibility. Well, we can help you navigate the accessibility tax credits so that you guys get reimbursed for some of those. We also do this thing called on-the-job training, where it's a training stipend to when you're training a new individual and they're kind of learning the job. Well, we recognize that training takes time. Well, if you're in business, time equals wow. Okay, yeah, so time equals money. So we help offset a little bit of that. And so for lower level kind of jobs, we can go up to $1,500. For higher level jobs, we can go to a $5,000 training stipend to help you onboard somebody with a disability while they're learning the new skills to work for you. The other thing that we do is not necessarily monetary compensation, but we also do training. And it's for the very same reason that we're here today. If you introduce somebody to your workforce that, let's say the culture of your business is not used to working with, well, we can come in and we can help train your staff. We call that cultural attitudinal training. That's like a big word for saying, hey, Act right. I know you guys can't do that. I don't do that, but that's what you want to do. Okay. But we come in and we do a training. These trainings are free of charge. So we do a cultural attitudinal training, and we do that for your line staff. We can do that for your management staff. I can even sit down with a CEO of an owner who just wants more familiarity so that they understand what they're doing. Because sometimes if you're not doing it, you have this uncomfortability factor, and sometimes it just takes a one-on-one conversation just to get you comfortable. Because at the end of the day, people are people. Whether you're male, female, brown, purple, pink, blue, disability, no disability, everybody's everybody. Everybody's the same. We all have our basic needs. I learned that in the United States Marine Corps. And so, grew up in Southern California, really never went anywhere. Then I joined the Marine Corps. They said, hey, you want to see the world? And I said, not necessarily. But they saw fit to send me to a lot of different countries. And the thing that I found interesting was it doesn't matter where I went. People are people. You know, I still say, you know, this is my own thing. I don't have a doctorate in sociology, but I will say this. 90% of the world, good people. 10% of the world, not so much. But here's what happens. We meet the 10%, and then we associate the 10% with the 90%. And that goes with a lot of different things. So when it comes to working with people with disabilities, you say disability, and the first thing that goes into your mind is the most severe thing you have ever imagined or seen. But here's the thing, it's just like the mayor said, it's a spectrum. You know, you have some people who have some very significant disabilities, and they need some very, very specific supports to help. We help with that. You have some people that have disabilities, and unless they told you, you would never know. And so, what we're here to do today is, we're here to work with you. And if it's something that you want to do, if it's something that weighs on you, if it's something that you want in your workplace, if you just need a body, because at the end of the day, you need bodies to do work. And right now, I don't know about you, but the labor market's a little tight. And we're here to help. We're here to help you identify talent. We're here to help get people to work. I will leave with this, and I find it fun. You guys might not find it fun, but I'm saying it. So I was working with this company, and this company, they did mortuary services. And so, you know, they worked with the families, and then they helped with putting people into the different plots. And this young man wanted a job. And it was an administrative type job, and so he got a job in their file room. And, the company were doing the right thing, and, it was a big heart kind of thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love big hearts, but I also love productivity. And so the young man was actually good at doing what he did. But he came with an ability that nobody saw coming. So one day, and forgive me, they lost a body. And the guy whose job it was to know where the body was came in to talking to the boss and the manager very, very frantically. And he goes, I lost such and such, I don't know what, blah, blah, blah. And the young man, he was doing his job, and he was just like, aisle 3, section 5, subsection, blah, blah, blah. And they said, what? That's where he is. No computer, he just off the top of his head. So they went to the computer, and they located this individual, and everything was right in the world. And they said, that was weird. So they just threw out another random name. Young man knew exactly where it was. This young man had a memory like a steel trap. That company found this young man's memory so powerful and so irreplaceable that the owner came to me the next day and was just like, hey, I need 5 more people just like that, because I got like 3 more locations. I was happy and sad at the same time. I was just like, yeah, let me go on aisle 3 and just pull another Sam off the table right here, because I got 5 more just like that. People are people. And once we see and recognize their unique abilities and how they fit into our environments, the world gets a lot smaller. And so we're going to be out here. We have a booth, the Department of Rehabilitation. If you want to know more information, again, you can talk to Regional Center, you can talk to Exceed, you can talk to me at the Department of Rehabilitation. We're all here to help you, provide you resources, and provide you information. That's my time. I would like to introduce Michael Vargas with Exceed. He is their executive board member. Board member, somebody very, very important.
Is Lee still here? Wasn't trying to take your job or anything. And Jonathan, I have grandchildren. Wait till you have grandchildren. It's much better. So thank you and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Vargas, as was introduced. I'm a proud board member of Exceed, a former police officer, a former school board member, and a current mayor of the city of Paris. And with that all together, I definitely have a passion for working with persons with disabilities. Exceed has been providing services to adults with disabilities since 1981. We currently provide service to nearly 700 clients, each throughout the Inland Empire, with the mission to provide services, advocacy, and choices to enable adults with disabilities to be as independent as they possibly can. We have 4 facilities, work training and adult development centers in Hemet and Paris, where clients learn a wide variety of work skills, doing contract packaging and assembly and other jobs. We operate a residential facility in San Jacinto, and we have our Community Employment Services office in Riverside. It's the supported employment service that we offer from our Riverside office that is our focus today. As I speak on the benefits to employers of hiring one of our very capable workers, I would like you to pay particular attention to the slide presentations behind me, which is a great representation of the 125 clients we currently have placed in employment positions from Temecula to Fontana. As business people, we are always concerned about the bottom line, so what could the cost savings be to your business when you hire one of our clients? One, for starters, how about saving money on recruiting efforts? You can save on HR expenses, such as advertising, renewing applications, back-to-back interviewing, and more. We provide a very specific job matching service between employer and the client so that both parties are satisfied. Does possible tax savings with the work opportunity tax credit get your attention? Simply ask our employment specialist who will be outside for more details. Lower turnover rate, like Jonathan was talking about. What a unique concept that is, right? Compared to our millennials we have working for us today. I have 2 of them in my house. Our client average job retention is 7.8 years, much higher than the national average of 4.2. We have employees at Home Depot that have been there for 20 and 18 years, Walmart 21 and 10 years, Target 23 years, Lowe's Regional Distribution Center 9 years. If I can get my kid to get a job, just having a job would be awesome. I call them boomerangs. You throw them out, they come right back. Concerned about employee attendance? One of the greatest compliments we receive from our employees is that our clients show up on time every day and rarely call in sick, as Jonathan mentioned before. Besides cost savings, there are additional benefits to the employer. Positive role model to the public and other businesses. Become a good corporate citizen. Diversity in your workplace. Another great concept, huh? We provide professional diversity and disability training for your staff at no cost to you. We provide trained and experienced job coaches at no cost to you. We also offer 2 employment options, the first one being individual placements. We provide customized employment services, job designing, and work analysis to match your needs with our clients' abilities and desires. We provide ongoing training and continued support to assist the client in meeting your expectations. The second option is group employment. This could be such as custodial services or recycling services. We can provide a work team of 3 to 4 clients that are placed at your job site with a professional vocational trainer that works with you and the Exceed clients to ensure that your quality standards are met. In your packet, you will find a flyer with all this information. We have also a table outside and an employment specialist on hand to answer any questions you may have. Thank you for your time. I would now like to introduce and bring to the podium Jim Mendoza. He is the maintenance manager at Lowe's Regional Distribution Center here in Paris. Thank you.
Good morning. Very happy and proud to be here. We have partnered with Exceed going on close to 10 years now. We currently employ 40 associates. And just like Mike and John mentioned, very excited every day to go to work. Great group of people. It's really funny because I took a couple of days off about a week ago. And first thing out of their mouth, hey Jim, why weren't you at work? What happened? So now I have to make sure that I use my vacation time sparingly so they don't miss me. But yeah, we do a lot of tours, and in our tours we had people that come through and they question our outreach program. And they say, where are these people? Where are they working? Our building is 1.2 million square feet. And my answer to them is, we passed most of them already. They cannot identify who they are, what they're doing. They are doing several different functions in receiving, shipping, sorter operations, and even operating equipment. So very, very proud to be part of the organization. And again, operationally 14 years, and I've met a lot of great people. So don't miss out on the opportunity. Focus on their abilities, not the disabilities. So thank you guys very much.
And now I'm going to bring up Bridget Detention. That's detention. Where am I putting that? I retired from the police force already. Bridget Denton, transition specialist from the Temecula Valley Unified School District Workability Program.
Okay, so unlike our dynamic speakers of John and Toussaint, who are the type B personalities, I am the type A personality. So I'm going to bore you with a PowerPoint. You get to watch that and hear me talk at the same time. So we are Workability, and we are the liaison to the Inland Regional Center and to Department of Rehabilitation. So we connect them through what we do with Workability, and our students get to do work training opportunities with both of those groups, those agencies. So I'm going to start with a little history, give you a program overview about Workability. It is a program that's been around for over 37 years. And as you can see, it provides pre-employment skills training and follow-up services for youth in special education who are making the transition from work to school. It's for individuals aged 16 to 22, and it provides those special ed students the opportunity to complete their secondary education while also obtaining marketable job skills. And it is funded through the California Department of Education. The program has existed for over 36 years. And of 977 school districts in California, Workability funds 270 of those districts. So we are very blessed in Temecula to have the Workability program. Some of the services rendered, I won't again go through all of them or bore you with all of them, but we want to educate the students. So we do a little bit of a transition assessment, kind of learn their interests and skills. And we want to empower them by helping them to understand and know their disability and their accommodations so that they can speak to those when they're interviewing with employers and businesses. And we want to help them with employment readiness by doing resume writing, interview skills, a reference letter, talking about a lot of that vocabulary because they may not even know what those words mean. So just helping them to better understand. So when you receive an individual at your place of employment, you have a pre-screened, pre-trained applicant in essence. And we pay for it through the funds that we receive through the Department of Education. So, what does the business receive? They receive job-ready workers, screened applicants, as I described, for employment positions, workers whose skills are assessed and interests matched with the employer there, because we want to be able to make sure that, along with them learning about the skills on the job, like customer service and work ethic, that it's a good match for you guys as well, and that they're able to provide, the service that they need to. And the workers' comp and liability is covered through our school district, so there's no cost to the employer for that. Just a safe place that they can enjoy and learn from those that are around them. And then we also ask that the managers provide feedback or through evaluations that we do with the students to let them know how they're doing, the growth and progress that they're making. And we also provide job coach support. So we have two different types of groups that may come. We have our high school students who are, as we would call, independent workers, and they would come in on their own, usually after school hours, after 2:30 p.m., and they would work train independently or maybe start with a job coach to make that transition. and then they would kind of fade and be on their own and get to work train. And that's actually through a program that we have called We Can Work through Department of Rehabilitation, which is an extra grant that we have along with Workability that gets to also pay them while they're there. And we do pay the competitive rate of $12 an hour while they're work training. And then we have our groups or our enclaves that go in with job coaches, and that's through a program that we have called the Adult Transition Program. And they would go in with that job coach, usually in groups of 3, and are supported, and they work alongside other coworkers and with managers to identify what tasks are appropriate for our students that they can build upon and continue to learn while they're there. So some of the businesses that we partner with are listed here, as you can see, and I'm so happy to see that Armstrong's here, and we also partner with wonderful Chick-fil-A, Home Goods might be here, as well as Holiday Inn Express. So many of these we partnered for over 10 years. We've actually had our Workability program in our school district since 2001, and it continues. We annually renew it, so we've been very blessed to continue with it every year. And we're just thankful for all the businesses that we have, and we continue to grow. So if there are any businesses that are interested, again, we have a table outside as well, and we'd be happy to share more information with you and provide you with some flyers and whatnot. And I have a little video that I'd like to share with you.
It's really good for business when there's a place at the table for everybody to work. And when that happens, it's community at its finest.
So investing in our communities is really helping our workforce. It's building customer loyalty, which helps our business and would help any business.
If an employer's thinking of it, I would say go in with an open mind and be willing to work with somebody's talents and to look at those talents and how they can help you as an organization.
What works for one business may be different for another business.
The point of the program is to really acclimate students into a real-life working environment.
Whether you're a small business or a large business, the Workability One program can work for you.
We have a lot of businesses that we've made business relationships with.
I've experienced students working in child development centers, in veterinarian offices,
personal gyms, a comic book store,
big box stores such as Walmart to Round Table Pizza.
We just try to get real creative.
Davis High School approached us about having kids come to work for us to help them get ready for the real world, and we thought it was a good idea.
Before they go into real workforce, they get the idea, okay, this is work. They are assigned to something, if they finish it, somebody's watching them.
It's a win-win that helps our bottom line without impacting our payroll.
It saves a lot of liability issues too.
If we have an opportunity to recruit and retain high-quality staff through a program like Workability, that entire startup cost was subsidized by the program.
Throughout the state of California, the Workability team does a fantastic job with preparing the students.
We worked with the Workability staff and job coaches closely before the Workability students came on site.
They do a meet and greet prior to placing a student. They prepare the students on soft skills and technical skills.
Our goal is to have them working side by side with our students in all of the same jobs that our students do. So it might be at the equipment room, it might be at the front desk, swiping patrons in, telling them to have a great workout.
Cleaning the store, mopping the store, talking to customers when they walk by.
Washing windows, vacuuming floors, setting tire pressure.
Students come in, do some of the clamshells and the labeling. We also have them do some of the boxes for us.
They can bake cupcakes for me, they can frost for me, they can help customers for me.
We placed a student at our equestrian center who had a particular affinity for horses, so it was a fantastic fit.
Our store managers love the students from the Workability program, and one of the reasons why is they're so willing to learn.
The interaction with the students and the employees has been really good.
At first look or perception, you may see someone that's so much different. However, through just a little bit of effort, you can find that open door to then have interactions that are really, really meaningful.
It's real rare that it doesn't work out because we went in there and said, hey, can you tell me what's going on? How is it for you? So it becomes a learning experience, not only for our student, but the people that they're working with.
I think if you have general success in employee relations, employee management, and leadership, a Workability employee would be a fantastic addition to your team.
It's a win-win situation where the student feels like they matter and they're making a difference because they truly are making a difference.
It's not only the right thing, but we have the opportunity to hire dependable young adults that will really want to work.
The rewards are definitely worth any challenges you might experience.
It's amazing that these students have so much happiness in them. I think get choked up, sorry.
I've actually been honored to be a participant in the program. I would love to have more workability students.
Workability, I think, brings together the people that need jobs, the people that could use a good employee. When all that comes together, you've got something awesome. And that's what I think workability does, is just makes awesome.
So yeah, to kind of sum up what I know John and Tucson, even the mayor had mentioned, that the students have a unique, abilities and skill sets, each and every one of them, and our goal is to try to help bring them to you and to make a match so that they can find value in what they do and to give a sense of purpose to them in their everyday life. So I get the pleasure now to introduce one of my business partners, somebody that we've been with for a long time, Ms. Tara Gravino. She actually direct hired one of our students after a pilot program that we did about a year ago. And so she's been amazing. She has such care and concern over all of her employees. There is no difference from one employee to another, which I think is what we want, and is a big message here. There's no difference between any of us. So with that, Tara, please come up.
Thank you so much, Bridget, and thank you to the city and to all the local cities, everyone who's part of this program. It's just such a blessing to me. Again, I'm Tara Gravino, Hospitality Director at Chick-fil-A Temecula. I have the blessing of working with my brother, Jim, who is the owner-operator there, and we truly do have a heart for community, for service, and yes, we're a business. We probably do about anywhere from $20,000 to $35,000 in business a day at Chick-fil-A, so we complete a lot of transactions, and we're very, very busy. If you've come to our store, you've seen our parking lot is packed, and there's a line wrapped around the sidewalk and around the parking lot. So we've just been incredibly fulfilled by being part of the workability program. Is Maddie here today? Maddie, are you still here? Oh, Maddie, I'm sorry. I know you probably don't want me to call you out, but Maddie was she started out as a workability intern for us, and we ended up hiring her on, and it truly expanded our horizons and opened up our mind to the possibilities. And the reason why I came today really was because we've only scratched the surface of what we can do with this program. So truly, I didn't intend on being a speaker here today as an example of what an employer does, because we've just begun to really understand the opportunity that exists. Maddie was a great example of what the workability program does for businesses. Truly, it was a huge help to us. You often hear that when you open up your heart to these opportunities, that it's that you feel like you're going to be the one that's blessing someone else. When in reality, I think the theme is today that truly the business is the one that is blessed by this opportunity. So Maddie came in and she did a phenomenal job for us. We had a very specific role for her as an intern in the store, and then hired her on to continue that role as a team member. And she taught us a lot, and we realized we have a lot more to learn, and so that's why we're here today. I appreciate everything that's been presented here, all the services. I had no idea that this was all available to us, so I'm excited and hopeful to learn more. We're looking to expand our horizons in this area. Our vision is actually, my brother came up with it, and I feel like he was a little gutsy when he decided to make this his vision, but I'll share it with you. It's to be the most influential business in the city of Temecula by developing servant leaders who impact and influence all the places that they lead. And so in order to do that, we feel like we need a stronger presence in our store, and we need to expand on this area. So that's why we're here. We're here to learn, and we're here to make connections and to really solidify our partnerships with all of the organizations who are supporting workers with special abilities. And so I just thank you so much for this opportunity to share our amazing experience. I feel like we should give Maddie a round of applause because she's an amazing person. And I was able to write a letter of recommendation. I had the honor of writing a letter of recommendation for Miss Maddie, and she's been accepted into a college program. So we're so proud of her, and we're so thankful for how she helped us become a better business, and we look forward to doing a lot more with all of these organizations here today. Thank you. And can we welcome Mayor Mike Nagar back up here? Thank you.
Thank you. There's not much I can add to today's presentation. I want to thank all of our presenters, and I'm especially moved by those businesses that were represented here today that have just immersed yourself in hiring those with special abilities. I know as a parent, there's nothing more I'd like to see than the joy on my son's face when the time comes to taking home a paycheck and the value that comes with that. One of our things on our heart, and I like what you said there just a minute ago, you think you're blessing somebody, and there's certainly truth in that, but you find out that you really get blessed in return, not only from that person working for you, but from the families and from the family members, and just the whole community starts to appreciate what you do, and that just really moves the heart, and it's catchy. It just gets catchy. I don't have anything else to add to this afternoon, but thanks. And then I think there's a question and answer period. So I'm here. I know our speakers are here, and that's probably Yvette. Where's Yvette?
I'm right here.
Is that what we're? How do you want to handle questions and answers? Right here, or what's your pleasure?
We're planning on moving outside to the patio.
Okay.
We have all the presenters outside with more material and information about the programs. So you guys are welcome to join us outside of the patio for any questions you have, and also to learn more information about our partner with the city.
Okay. So outside on the patio, questions and answers, and learning how to partner with the city. God bless you all.